right, young lady, let me ask you, what are you looking for? What is your aim? What do you hope to achieve? What are your challenges? What making you struggle to get? That's one thing that you want. How are you finding that journey you're on? Are you branding yourself well? Are you selling yourself? I'm sure you've heard about it. You'll be bought how much you sell yourself. How are you selling yourself? I mean, positively. I have a woman in the studio today who is going to help us understand the need to brand ourselves. You know, interestingly, and I can't stop saying this because it's been an interesting journey. And yes, I will tell you that story. When I started wearing African prints, the stories, the teasings, the stigma, the laughter. Today, I stand here very proud, being honored by the National Commission on Culture for promoting African wear. It was a tough journey. By the grace of God, at least I've been able to brand myself as that woman who is always wearing African prints. GTP to be specific. Who likes tying her duku? And she's on the move. Who wears beads like crazy? How are you branding yourself? This is not the only way, but how are you putting yourself in readiness? I'm not the right person to teach you that. I have the right woman in the house to teach us, to educate us on how to travel this journey. Well, let me say thank you to GTP, who always give me the cloth. This is GTP New Style. Yeah, it's on the market. Various colors, ageless, limitless designs. It's out there. Go get one for yourself and rock it like nobody. That's what will make you stand out. You know, that is what will make you stand out. Well, again, I say thank you to Aya's Boutique Online for my shoes, makeup product, always by Papa Cosmetics, and applied by Nax Beauty Studio. I'm so grateful to all our supporters. Crystal, you know, hair and beauty spa, always make sure that they style my hair, or, you know, they give me the way. Today I decided to go all out just to make my, you know, guests a bit jealous, make her miss Ghana and make her want to come to Ghana more. You know, well, my name remains Gifty. Until we take a break, when we come back, we meet a branding expert, and I'll tell you her name very soon. We'll be back. Okay, so I'm sure you can tell that I have some young people in the studio ready to brand themselves, and they are from the Catholic Organization for Social and Religious Advancement, COSRA. Welcome to the Standpoint. My guest today is Tamiko Koya. She is the Chief Executive Officer, CEO, and founder of Pursue Your Purpose LLC. She's a business coach. She is international branding expert. You know, she has many titles, but we'll get into that. Tamiko, welcome to Ghana.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here.
Is it your first time in Ghana?
Yes.
Oh,
first
really?
time in Ghana. First time in West Africa.
First time in West Africa?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay. And what brings you to Ghana?
Sorry?
What brings you to Ghana?
So I am here because I am teaching master classes on entrepreneurship. And I also like to empower women to stand up for themselves as leaders and to draw out those leadership abilities that they have.
Okay. Tell me a bit about you.
So I was born in the United States, if you can't tell by my accent. I was born in the U.S.
Right.
But I am an African American, which means that my descendants come from West Africa.
Right.
I am a descendant of slaves, as you know, about the slave trade in West Africa. So we were separated from the continent, so now I'm back.
Okay. Okay. So you are back and tracing and making sure that you give back
Yes,
to help
to my
people. Yeah.
yes.
But tell me about growing up in the United States, a young lady,
Yes.
who's an African American trying to find her feet. How was life like for you?
Life was really interesting, but good. Challenging at times because I was raised in poverty, primarily by a single mother. And I know a lot of people, when you hear, especially in the context of America, when you hear the word poverty, people don't think it exists. They think America is paved with streets of gold and money's falling out of the sky. But that was not my life. I was raised in what they call the projects, right? These are, sometimes they're the equivalent in Africa, they might call them townships or...
No, we call it the ghettos.
Or the ghettos, that's
or
very appropriate. Zongos, okay.
Yes.
I learned a new word today.
Yes.
Okay. So I was raised in the Zongos.
Right.
In the U.S.
Right.
So that means that they were sponsored, or I should say subsidized by the government. My mother was on government assistance for food. There were times where we had to stand in line at local places and waiting for handouts from the government like cheese, bread, powdered milk, basic necessities, commodities for food. And but my mother was a very strong woman. She produced some strong
always makes
children.
a difference,
Yes.
doesn't it?
Yes, very strong woman. And my father was around sometimes, so I don't want to speak as if he was non-existent, but he was not present the majority of my life. So my mother, she nurtured us. It was 4 of us siblings that she raised, or 3 of my siblings plus myself, that she raised almost alone. And what she did to raise us that made a big difference in my life, I believe, is that she exposed us to things outside of the ghetto.
Okay.
So I didn't see that was the only choice in life that I could make. And so she made sure that anything free in the community that we had access to, dance classes, jazz, tap, ballet classes. I participated in science fairs.
Wow.
She allowed me to go away to music academies, band camps. So she always spoke this into my life. She said, the sky is the limit. And that was very affirming for me because I believed her. And so my color or my gender was never a barrier in my mind because I had an affirming mother.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I read a bit about you and I knew that you grew up in the projects and all that. And most of the time, people who grew up in the projects don't come out like Tamiko.
It's true.
Sometimes they could fall by the way, they become drug addicts, they fall into prostitution,
Yes.
they are in prison, they have babies, without,
Right.
and it's kind of like a cycle.
Right.
So how did you get her? Of course, you've talked about how your mother made sure that you had a life outside the projects.
Yes.
But how did you climb up to become this Forbes well celebrated, acclaimed, entrepreneur, coach, business coach, and branding expert? How did you get there?
So, like I said, my mother was one of the things that I attribute to being my saving grace. The other one is that I found the Lord at an early age to give me some direction in life. And He's always been my anchor, my source that I go to when I need guidance in life and for everything. And then thirdly, I was a very good student in school. And so having high marks eventually led to a full scholarship at a university in the U.S. So that was how I was able to complete my first degree. And then I went on to obtain 2 more business degrees. And so education was also a big part of how I was able to build a foundation to pull myself up, so to speak, out of the projects.
Is your mother alive?
Yes, she is.
What does she say? What does she say about you, where you are now, and what you're doing?
She's so proud. And I'm not a mother, but I can only imagine when you nurture someone from an infant and you see them grow up, the pride and the joy that a mother must feel. The hard work pays off at some point.
Right.
Because it's not easy being a mother, but then having to be a single mother. I feel like I owe my mother my best life for all that she's poured into me. I owe her my some joy and helping her to see that the fruit of her labor is not in vain.
But Tamiko, never say you're not a mother. The number of young people you're mentoring,
Well, yes, that's a good
The
point.
people, yeah.
That is a good point.
Mother is not the one who is not only the one who is a biological mother. Maybe you're not a biological mother, but I'm sure your nieces and nephews will look up to you. You know, you have young people,
It's true. It's
So
true.
maybe you may not have your biological child yet, but you are mothering a whole lot of people.
Yeah, thank you for that perspective. I'll be sure to watch my words next time.
It's important. Now on that note, let me take up. So where are you now? I mean, you're described as a Forbes. You know what does it mean?
Yes. So a Forbes coach. There are only about 500 of us in the U.S. It's a by invitation only organization. Obviously, Forbes.
There are only
it's part
500 of you.
Only 500.
And you are one of them.
I'm one of them.
The whole of the United States
whole
of America.
The US, yes.
Wow.
Yes. And I have to say that my branding has a lot to do with how I ended up as a Forbes coach.
We'll get into that.
Yes.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that. Well, let me take a break here, and then when we come back, we'll get into how she managed to brand herself. Yes, irrespective of where she's coming from, the education, the life outside, the projects, and the mother being there. Definitely, she also played a role in making sure that she is on the right path. Well, let me say thank you to Go-Got Yogurt. As a woman, I always tell you, yogurt is very good for you. And anytime you feel like going for yogurt, it is Go-Got Yogurt you have to go for. And then Awake Purified Mineral Water, the first ever charity-driven mineral water in Ghana. I mean, why wouldn't you love it? Why wouldn't you buy it? And it's good quality too. And then Royal Drinks, both by Casa Preco Company Limited. So grateful to them. Daddy Cool Pastries, thank you so much. And then House of Foods, and then Yup Cleaning Services. We'll be back. Are you ready to learn how to brand yourself?
Yes.
Are you going to brand?
Yes.
Okay, then you came at the right time. Welcome back to the Standpoint. Don't get confused. Don't get it twisted. Yes, still the Standpoint, But I have really energetic and exciting youth in the studio. We are talking to Tabiko, who is a Forbes certified, branding expert, business coach and entrepreneur. I mean, I love to celebrate people who have made it, and we've just got to know about her. But hey, let me say thank you to GTP for my cloth. My dress was made for me by a young lady. She's called Fatima, and she's on Instagram as Cardi's Fashion. And you can follow her on Instagram and then on Twitter and on Facebook as well. Thank you so much to her. My shoes today by IS Boutique Online, as always. She sells good quality, shoes, not the Yanum one, the Yanum one, not that one. Good quality shoes, from around the world. Makeup products by Pava Cosmetics and applied by Nax Beauty Studio. My hair, most of the time, always, and even now, I style my hair, I do everything there at Crisel Hair and Beauty Spa. They're at East Legon and Airport. But I'm in a hurry to find out how this young lady branded herself. How did you position yourself? Okay, let's start with what is branding?
Yes, branding. So branding can include or encompass a variety of things to make up a brand. So that could include your image, how you project yourself to the public. It could include something like your marketing materials. It could be your social media page. It's part of your personal brand.
Social media. Okay.
Yes, it's very important. Any chance that you have a chance to represent yourself to the world, that is part of your brand, whether you realize it or not. So that's why we have to be aware of what we're projecting to the world. What do we want people to know or to to see about us. That's part of what your brand is, your personal brand.
So how did you brand yourself then to get to where you are today?
So my brand, I'm very intentional about the messages that I put out on Facebook. I don't
You're
just
very intentional.
very intentional. So I think before I type. And if it's not in alignment with who I am as a person and the message that I want to send to the world, then it doesn't go out. You have to have your own filter for things. You can't just put everything out there that you're thinking. Because people they're watching you, they're assessing you, they're judging you. And especially if you want to become a part of the business community, you have to be very careful about your message and what you're sending publicly.
Yeah, you have to be intentional.
Intentional, yes.
So there's nothing like in this advent of social media that this is who I am. I just go there, put myself out there, whatever. No, you just have to be intentional. Watch the words you use. Watch your sentence, your grammar, everything, the message you put out there.
The photos that you put out there. There's certain things, typically I don't go anywhere where I wouldn't want anyone to tag me in photos. But then there's some things about your private life that needs to be reserved for just your private life. Social media has become this ground where you just put out anything about your life without regard of how people might perceive it, without any regard of the trajectory in life that you're going on. Now, today, employers use social media to look at your profiles first before they hire you.
Right.
People are watching you. They're stalking your pages to see, is this person who I think they are, So you have to be intentional about what you want people to know about you, and then what you don't, it's okay to keep some things private.
So then how do you, let me, it's not digress, it's still in line with like, you are the CEO of, pursuing your purpose.
Yes.
Most young people today don't really know their purpose. They don't really know where they're going, and you're just going with the flow. How do you identify your purpose as a young person coming up?
Yes.
How do you know that this is where I want to go? So
Yes.
I have to be intentional in putting myself, because now it looks like fame is anything. Anything I have to do to be famous is what I'll do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. It's actually something I was teaching today in my master class. We were talking about identifying your purpose. You really want to pay attention to your desires. What are the things that you're passionate about? What problems do you want to see solved in this world? What do you enjoy doing? What comes natural to you? What do you do with the least amount of effort very well? And so, identifying your gifts, talents, skill sets, and abilities, those are clues to unlock what your purpose is in life. So once you are on a certain path, and as a young person, not all of us are going to know what our purpose is right away. It's a journey for most of us. Even adults in our 30s, 40s, 50s are still figuring out in some ways their purpose in life. And so you want to put yourself on a path that at least is going to get you closer to where you see yourself, what vision you have for yourself. So your purpose is very much connected to your drive, your passion, the things that you care most about in this world. And then, you have to deliberately put yourself on a path that's going to get you there. And I always tell people, if it's not a part of your purpose, then it's a distraction. And for the ladies, I tell them sometimes it's men that are distractions. And for the gentlemen, sometimes the women can be a distraction. So you have to be very careful about your personal relationships, who you allow to be in your inner circle. People who are connecting with you, are they connecting with you to add some value to your life? Or are they detracting? Are they taking away from it? And so purpose is really what would drive us to be successful in whatever it is that we're here on earth to do.
And when you find your purpose, you brand yourself.
Yes, you brand yourself around your purpose. And so if you know who you are, because part of knowing your purpose is identifying who you are as a person. And when you become more clear about that, then you become more clear about your brand. What you will put out there, what you will do, opportunities that you will say no to. They may be even good opportunities, but if it's not in alignment with your purpose, then it's something that you should be willing to walk away from.
If it's not in line with your purpose, you have to say no, no matter how good.
Oh, yes.
Not even if it's bringing you good money.
That's true. It's true. I always tell people, purpose transcends profits, because anything you do just for money, eventually it will wear you out. You will become tired. It'll be more tempting for you to quit. And you won't have any fulfillment in it. I don't care how many zeros are in your bank account. Eventually, you won't have the joy and the fulfillment of doing it. And so if you tie your purpose to your profits, you can still profit. And you're not taking any losses. You're just you're attaching something internal to the reason you're earning the money. So that's the difference between being profit-driven and being purpose-driven. You actually can put the two together and still make money.
Is it so important for a woman to brand herself? Is being beautiful good enough?
No.
To achieve your goals and aims and aspirations?
No, in fact, I would even say take beauty out of the equation, because you're more than a beautiful face. You have more to offer this world than your nice curves, right? You know, it's nothing wrong with looking beautiful. I mean, God made us this way.
Thank you.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not be adorned in beauty? And this is part of our right as a woman to possess beauty and to carry it with dignity. And so you don't have to sell yourself or your body, or, you know, on Instagram you see a lot of the young girls, they want to get attention, and so, you know, they compromise themselves to get the attention that they want when it's not necessary. You know, we talk about branding because also I equate branding like going fishing. If anyone's ever gone fishing, you know, you have to put the right bait on the hook to catch the type of fish that you want.
Right.
Well, if you put the wrong bait on the hook and you're just wanting to get attention and by presenting yourself without dignity, then that's exactly what you're going to attract.
So dignity is part of the branding?
I believe so.
Because some people will say, I mean, this advent of slay queens, some people will say, well, it's giving them the right attention, it's giving them the right, you know, platforms, you know, they get invited to places they want to go, and it keeps getting worse.
Yes, yes. You know, and I see young women doing that, and even some older women also, women in general. You know, it's not necessary, but because they see it working for others, they think that's the only choice that they have to make, is that they have to compromise themselves as ladies, as a young lady, you know, when in fact you don't have to compromise at all. I try to stay true to myself. I do not, you know, I'm not here to judge, but I'm also just here to let women know that your personal brand does not have to involve you compromising to attract the type of attention or opportunities to you.
Do you get surprised when you realize that, you know, as Ghanaians, some of us try very hard to be more American than the Americans?
You know,
we bleach our skins.
Oh, it's
we try
ridiculous.
to dress like the Americans.
Yes.
We try to act like them.
Yeah.
Now I mean, when you talk about it's the Cardi B and
yes.
the Kim Kardashians. That's what they want to be.
I don't even model myself after those people, so I don't understand. I understand the social trends because now that we have social media, the access to American culture, and I know that we dominate in a lot of ways with influence in the world in general.
Right.
So I understand why the appeal. You know, if I do as Americans do, maybe I'll be like an American, but you know, be proud. Be proud to be whatever you are. Be proud, a proud Ghanaian. All
right, you're watching The Standpoint again. Let me say thank you to our sponsors, Ghana Oil Company. I'm in dear. That is Goil. Everything petroleum, go to Goil, you get it. GTP, our style is ageless. Our pattern limitless, and our designs are endless. Our beauty never fades. GTP, still timeless. And thank you to Gogot Yogurt, Awake Purified Mineral Water, and Royal Drinks by Casapreco Company Limited. Daddy Cool Pastries, House of Foods, Cake Technique, Yep Cleaning Services. Mr. Soforipoko, thank you so much for always making sure that you bring us something extra, to add up to what we use to refresh our guests. We are so grateful to you, Mrs. Oforipoko. We take a break. When we come back, we continue the discussion on branding for a purpose. Deliberate and calculated moves that you need to take to brand yourself. We'll be back. Welcome back to The Standpoint. Remember, this program is also aired on ABN TV on Sky Channel 195, which is across Western Europe, parts of Canada and Asia. We are also on Virgin TV channel 842 in the United Kingdom. Our YouTube channel, very much patronized. Subscribe to it and, go and have a review every now and then. Follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, and of course, like our Facebook page. And then make sure you never ever miss The Standpoint any day, anytime. Our website, www.thestandpoint.com.gh, is powered by Dream Over. Do you think it is so important for us as women in our struggle to get empowerment, in our struggle to get equality, to brand ourselves in readiness for what we seek?
Yes. If I'm going to have any role model, it would be someone like Michelle Obama. Not once have I ever seen Michelle Obama compromise herself.
No.
She has a brand, and she stays true to herself. She's very classy and elegant in the way that she's very poised, but she's very down to earth and humble. I'm saying this as if we're friends. We're not.
We are.
But,
Yes.
but even people get this impression of her public persona. She's always been that consistent type of person. And so if you are a woman, and we already have barriers that we're faced with, to me, adding the challenge of presenting yourself in a way that's less than your standards as a woman only, to me, compounds the problem. It's giving in to the societal pressures that says in order to have success or to have notoriety or fame, you have to, compromise your standards on how you appear, what you're doing in the public. And so that's not an accurate or a right thing to do.
Yeah. So that is purposeful branding.
Yes. Yes.
Your own. Not that people are doing it, so you also do it.
Correct. Yeah. And each of us, see, when you know your purpose, then you stick to it. There's no deviating from it. If you know that if what you're doing is not taking you towards your purpose, if it's moving you away from your purpose, then you know you're going in the wrong direction. You have to really change the course of how you're presenting yourself to the world.
Now let's go to Gloria. She has a question.
It looks like the branding you are talking about for the people in the entertainment world, how will it be for them? Because the role models they have are all people that will expose themselves to get known and all that. How would it be for them to maintain their dignity and also make it? Because now it looks like that's the only option to be famous.
Okay. But let me add this, that it's not only people in the entertainment industry who are striving to be the Kim Kardashians and the Beyoncés and the Cardi B's and the Nicki Minaj. No, it's not only them. People from, even business people who are students, people who are working in the banking sector, journalists, what have you, young people, they cut across. So it's not just, we have, I'm sorry to take it that we have some people in the entertainment industry who are decent. We still have them. They cover themselves and they're still classy and they're still sexy, and we have them across.
Are you chasing after profits, or are you chasing after your purpose? So if that means that you're not going to be famous and make a lot of money, are you still willing to maintain your values? Are you still willing to stay focused and true to your purpose? Right? So we have that choice, but we have to determine if we're going to pursue our purpose or if we're going to go only after profits.
Yeah. But to add up to, what if the person's purpose is to make money? Is to go.
You can do both without compromising.
Okay.
But you run the risk, especially in America, you run the risk if you don't play the game, and there is a game, the powers that be, the decision makers, they sort of require women to be sexy and to showcase their sex appeal, even sometimes at the expense of their talents. It's like, but wait a minute, I can really sing, or wait, I can really act. Wait, I really have this talent. And again, women, we sort of get relegated into just being sexy, playing the sexy role all the time, because they know, especially like Hollywood, they know that's what's going to make them money. So Hollywood is not concerned about your integrity. They're not concerned about your purpose. They're concerned about your profitability. How can they make money off of you? As even your brand, they have a lot of control over that. So, yeah.
And okay, let me come to you.
Okay, so mine is more of a contribution to branding yourself and not necessarily being successful. Here it is sometimes difficult. You want to associate yourself with some people, and through that you feel that, okay, then maybe I will be successful, without necessarily branding themselves. They are leveraging on the association to brand themselves. How do you stay in your one small corner and yet portray or project your purpose without necessarily leveraging or, as it were, associating before you get there?
Yes, I understand your question. In order to have a measure of success, it does require you to network and to build relationships with people who have surpassed where you are now, because the people in your circle, as you are today, can't really help you get to the next level. But this is how people grow and become successful. Like, this is a normal part of your journey, is that you surround yourself with people who are already where you're trying to go. And you're leveraging relationships, but you have to do it in a way that doesn't require you to use people. We call that in the States riding on people's coattails, where that people just want something from you. And, I tend to recognize, people like that, and I don't associate myself. But if you're genuine and you just want mentorship, or you just want to glean from someone, who has the experience, it's nothing wrong with doing that and leveraging your relationship. And once you have the relationship, then they may share things like their contacts with you. They may introduce you to people. So it's nothing wrong with that. You just have to make sure that your motives are right and that you're not doing it for the wrong reasons.
Okay, so what I get is to be able to brand yourself for a purpose, for your purpose, you need to be willing and make a deliberate attempt to rid yourself of certain people, and also make sure that you get into the right association or group of people. Have the right people, surround yourself with the right people.
Absolutely. And you might be able to think back on some moments in your career where you had to cut some people off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Tell me about it.
It's part of our journey is growing. I call it pruning.
Yeah.
You know how you have a plant, and if you don't prune it, it will die.
Yeah.
You have to get rid of the dead leaves, and sometimes people are in our lives for a season, and you can't take them with you, though. Especially,
and there's something we struggle with as women. We don't want to carry everybody along with us. But it doesn't work like that.
You can't. Just like that plant I referenced, when a plant outgrows its pot, you have to put it in a bigger pot, or it will die. It's the same way, similarly, with our circles. If our circles aren't growing, or if our circles are stifling us in some way, then we have to prune ourselves in some ways to, make sure that we don't have any dead weight holding us back. Because like you said, women, we have a hard time with it because we're so relational.
Yeah.
We're relationship driven.
And we
by
are emotionally
nature.
attached to everything.
Yes, right? So then, you know, you have to make a choice. Am I loyal to my stagnant place in life right now, or am I loyal to my purpose and where I'm going? And you have to make the choice, you know, to break away, and you'll be better off for it in the long run.
You have to make a choice. In conclusion, what's your advice to that young lady watching you and thinking, I've learned a lot. I need to brand myself. Back. Where do I start? How do I start?
I would start, well, first, one resource that I could share is in my book. It's called Own Your Brilliance, A Woman's Guide to Hiring Herself. It talks about the confidence that women need on their journey of pursuing their purpose in life, taking ownership of their gifts, talents, skill sets, and abilities in life. And I will also advise women to get around other people who are going to speak life into you.
Right.
You know, you have to separate yourself from people who don't believe in you, who are speaking down to your dreams. You know, you have to be intentional about your purpose and where you're going in life.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
You know, for coming to share. I mean, I am sitting and nodding, but I have learned something, and branding is so important. And you know, I for me, initially I didn't know what I was doing, but I think to a large extent I have. And then people keep running, no, Gifty, don't do this. You branded yourself in this specific way. You branded yourself this way. You branded, and some of them I look at it and say, yeah, this one. But sometimes I no, this is not what you know I wanted. And you know, I had one young lady on this program, Sandra Ankobia, who said, well, for a long time, she was being described by the bloggers and the media as fashionista. I mean, well, she's a lawyer. You know, I mean, she's a lawyer, very intelligent guy. So she went off social media for over a year. Then she came back and rebranded herself.
Yes.
Now, even when she's looking very fashionable, she's referred to as the lawyer. You understand?
Yes,
So it's so important, and I'm so glad that you come to share. We have a little package for you.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Aww.
you know, talking about branding.
Oh, well, look at this with the standpoint brand.
Brand.
Oh, how lovely.
So you can.
Thank you so much. This is
You
so
can
lovely.
just let me show you what is in there.
This is wonderful.
So a little branded. I'll leave you to bring it out yourself.
Oh, look at this. Some personalized towels. Oh, this is so nice. Isn't this nice? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And
So
I came bearing gifts also.
oh wow!
I wanted to give you a signed copy of my book. This is my third book. My fourth one is coming out.
Wow.
But this one I wrote specifically for women. And it's just Own Your Brilliance, A Woman's Guide to Hiring Herself. And I just wanted to present it to you as a gift.
Thank you so much. Let me put this. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Now, where can we? Okay, now this is mine. Those of you now laughing so loud, don't come borrowing. Where can we get your books to buy?
Actually, for those who are in the studio audience today, my team is here with me and they have some. But I leave the States back well, actually I leave here, not going back to the States for a while.
Okay.
I'll be in Africa for a while.
Wow, okay.
But online on Amazon.com, it's there. So they can order it on there, or they can go to my website, www.pursueyourpurpose.com.
Awesome.
Order it there.
Okay, and then all the day. So this is it.
Yes.
Own your brilliance. Own your brilliance. And a woman's guide to hiring herself. Now ask yourself, if you were an employer, would you hire yourself? Be honest. Will you hire yourself? Well, get yourself in readiness. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. I'm
And
honored to be here. Thank you.
please take a bit of us. to the US with
Yes,
you.
absolutely.
And know that we really do appreciate what you're doing. We are proud of you.
Thank
and we
you.
hope you'll come again.
I will.
And when you come, we'd love to have you on the standpoint again.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I'll be back with a bit of me. Revolution!
Action in Christ.
Revolution!
Action in Christ.
Revolution!
Action in Christ.
Have you learned anything?
Yes.
Are you glad you came?
Yes.
Good. I'll be back with a bit of me.
I decided to get devoted in making sure that I eat well. So I started gradually taking food to work. Then one day they just went like, "Oh, Marion, can you prepare some for us? We'll pay. How much will it take? We'll pay." Then I was like, "Okay, I'll see." The first time I thought they were not serious. I just wanted to taste some. So I prepared a whole breakfast and brought it to everybody in the office to eat free of charge. Then they kept requesting. So my first customer started with my first branch working at the bank.
When I was doing it before, when I started making my soaps and creams, I wasn't really marketing it properly. I was just basically limiting myself to people that I know.
No.
I wasn't just, being bold and going out there. But when I went into banking for 2 years, this is it. You have to go and beg people for money. And I think that it really helped because now I'm just in town. I just see an office and I just go in. So I started doing cleaning products. And now, so when I left, I actually had some money. So I told my colleagues that I'm going to buy a 20-foot container, turn it into a factory and put my office on the side. And that's exactly what I did.
I just went to Kingdom Books, started looking around. Then I saw some plain hard cards. Then I chose some and all of that. Then I went home. When I went home, I sat down with basic tools as scissors, ruler, pencil. Then I tried out a couple of things. Then I did my brother's own, the ladies' own came, people started calling. But then I wasn't so confident about...
And what you put on social media is something you did at home.
I did at home with scissors,
ruler.
pencil. And when I started working and I saw the card I used, not my favorite card. That is
I had a conversation with some of my daughters quite recently, and I told them to be very careful about what they write on social media, especially Facebook. The words they use, the pictures they put out of themselves, because the internet doesn't forget. It doesn't forget. If you've noticed, if you're on Facebook, every year it reminds you, every day it reminds you. Quite recently, I had some of the reminders by good old Facebook. Things I wrote 4 or 5 years ago. And most of them, I will stand by them even today. So very relevant. I had my first international speaking engagement through Facebook. I didn't know the pastor face to face. But through my motivation and encouragement on Facebook, he gave me that platform. And it set a chain for me. You see, how you sell yourself is how much you'll be bought. How much do you want to sell yourself? How much value do you place on yourself? How do you want people to... there are people that no matter what you do, they will say whatever they want to say. They will, even if they see you wearing red, they will say you were wearing black. Those people are there. They were born haters, No matter what you do, you can't do anything about it. But then how you portray yourself, how you brand yourself out there matters a lot. You are looking for a job. What are you doing? How are you branding yourself? The day you went to look for a job, at that office, was there a need that you could have easily helped? And no, you don't work here, so you didn't make any effort. There are people I mentor, the people I mother, there are people who've done great things for me, supported me in my charities, in my job, in my personal, that I haven't seen before. They only know me through Facebook and social media. So they just like me. And there are some people who just hate me all because of social media. So be very, very cautious about how you portray yourself. If you're copying people blindly, if you want to dress like Gifty Auntie and spend all your money, you know I'm a walking and sitting and standing mannequin, everything sponsored. So you have to be careful. Know what you want, your purpose, who you are, and brand yourself for that purpose. I hope to God that in this 21st century, 2019, young people will begin to think and think deep about the future. Because where the future is taking us, I am afraid. I am afraid. Quite recently, I heard a case where they said, WhatsApp call, where even if you don't pick up, the person calling can see or something. I am afraid. So we have to be careful. We can't afford to be, this is who I am. I don't care. I'm having fun. Have fun, but be wise. Well, you know me already. I'm a woman with super crazy faith in God. I've made mistakes. God knows it. But thankfully, during my time, there was no social media. Your time, there is social media. What I did, the mistakes I made, that God was merciful and brought me this far. You may not be lucky enough. That is why we share our experiences so that hopefully you can learn from it. Of course, be free to make your own mistakes. Be free to have your own experiences, but be wise because God has given us wisdom. Thanks for watching. See you same time next week. Until then, make sure you brand yourself wisely. Bye for now.